Hello, everybody. Justin, 9 Pound Hammer, Oklahoma 5180. You guys know me. It's 5180 Justin on side bed. Now, I've been under the cold. My whole head stopped up. I'm starting to come out of it just a little bit. But I want to talk about a subject in this hobby. Now, guys, this is going to be a little bit of an advanced topic. And it's going to get, you have to pay attention and listen to what I'm saying. You guys that just scroll past, well, that's okay. But you guys that are taking the time to watch the channel and listening to me, I'm going to teach you something. And we're going to, because it's just a myth, you know. I've learned what I do in this hobby from serious operators, high level operators. And I've been taught the right way, and I've been taught what's right, textbook wise. And that's what I go by. Um, Having an SWR. I already know. Y'all ready for this? When you have a high SWR, that is not a loss of power. Once again, when you have a high SWR, that is not a loss. That reflective power that you have is not loss, guys. Once again, the reflected power that you have from your antenna is not loss. Let me explain. What happens is we have an antenna, a load, the radiator. We have the transmitter. The transmitter sending output power to the antenna. There's a sum of that output power that gets radiated, if not all of it. But what does not get radiated is not loss. What does not get radiated is not loss. It comes from the antenna. Radiated power will go back to the transmitter. It will hit the antenna tuner or the front end of the radio, and then it will go back. The whole time that you're on the key, guys, the reflected power that's not being dissipated or radiated into free space is doing this. What's not being radiated is going back and then pushing against the forward power. This characteristic is known as reflective gain. Do your research, guys. Before you start judging, do your research. The power that hits the transmitter and gets kicked back off then mixes with the power that's going forward. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that if you got 100 watts and you're modulating 75 forward, the 25 that's being tossed back and forth from the transmitter and radiator, I'm not saying that adds and then goes out the antenna, because some of it doesn't. But where the reflected power is, it stays in the feed line and in between the transmitter. Every time you're under the key, that relationship is like this. And then there's a certain percentage of that relationship that's going out the antenna. Facts. It's very important, guys. If you're going to work broad spectrum or broad amounts of spectrum, a big band space, use your tuner. Put your tuner or have a tuner. That way, because I'm telling you guys, the SWR, the reflected power, the way that people determine that as loss is 100% wrong. It's just wrong. It's not what's going on. It's not what's taking place. The SWR thing is blown up, guys. It's blown up. It's important. I mean, and there's circumstances in which it's more important. But with that being said, like you guys that are getting these striker radios, well, let's break down a little bit. Let's break down the characteristics of an FET, a field effect transistor. That's different. I'm a little sick, guys. That's different than your standard push pull or your silicone semiconductor. So I don't know if some of you guys are noticing. I don't know if any of you guys use scopes or play with scopes. But if you take some of the FET radios, you can see characteristics and how they drive an amplifier. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys that are serious know what I'm talking about. The FETs, certain ones, I'll give an example. FPQ13N10. It's a high producing peak envelope power device. It makes good peak power. It makes decent average power. But the device is known to be in like a lot of the Lincolns. It's in the original version 1 Striker, which now they realized that the device had some characteristic flaws, so they went to 520s. And now I think some of their new ones might even be having the RT stages, the upgraded FET, which is a mil spec, like the RT3, RT2. Those are mil spec device. Well, the ones that I would use are, but they have a characteristic, that they don't like. Some of those radios, they just don't like being under drive. They don't like driving. Getting back to where I was going though, like the Striker 955 guys, you guys, if your guys are trying to worry about getting like now, I'm saying when you're under a load, say you're driving a straight 8 or a straight 4, with your Striker, and you're trying your damnedest to get the input reflect down and you're having trouble with it. Guys, let me tell you, and I'm telling you, and I mean it, and I wouldn't tell you a lie, guys. If your input reflect is below 1.5, run the damn thing and stop worrying about it. It's the difference between a 1.8, a 1.7, a 1.6, and a 1.1 as far as performance. There's no difference. There's no difference from the performance from a 1.1 SWR and a 1.5. No difference. Absolutely zero difference. The transmitter and antenna that's performing with a 1.5 SWR will perform just as good as the transmitter and antenna that's performing with a 1.1. This is what I'm getting to, guys. That I mean, it's blown up. SWR, reflect and loss, which it's not a such thing. You just have to watch who you listen to. You have to watch and filter through some of this stuff out here in this hobby because there's a lot of nonsense, a lot of shit that really is wrong. Pay attention, 73s. Have a good one. 9 Pound Hammer, Oklahoma. Y'all be good.